Hi there VC, it's Steve Whitty here. It has been a few weeks since I posted my last video. Um, it's nothing wrong, everything's fine. It's just I've been rather busy the past few weeks, and I thought I'd have a little bit of a break. Majority of the few weeks I've been looking after Pete's shop again. I did 2 weeks of doing that, and I just thought, on a Sunday, I wanted a bit of a break, so that's why I didn't do any videos. And likewise, I'm a little bit behind watching people's videos, so apologies for that. I'm going to really try and catch up, and obviously there's some people that I'm going to try and catch up over their past few weeks' videos as well and comment on. So no worries on my score. Everything's all good in my world, and I hope it's all good in your world. I know life has its ups and downs, but we have the music to keep us going, and that's the important thing. I don't know. It's what can I say? It's a bit of a strange world out there. I know in the UK things are a little bit up in the air at the moment, but hey, we just got to keep ploughing on and hope that it all works out for the best. Okay, so this is another recent listens video. I thought I'd ease myself back in with that. I'm going to show you 10 albums that I've listened to recently, and I'm a little bit behind catching up. So, but as soon as I mention what some of the albums when I got them, I'm a little bit behind. But without further ado, let's start. And I suppose there's a bit of a tenuous link to the fact that Peter Fonda passed away, best known for Easy Rider. And this first album is Toni Basil's Word of Mouth. Now, Toni Basil appeared in Easy Rider. I think she appeared in the final bits in the cemetery. It's been a long time since I've watched it, but she appeared in that film. She's probably better known as a choreographer. Once in a Lifetime video is one of the better known. Now, this is her album that came out originally in 1981, I believe, and it contains her best known hit in the UK, Mickey, which was a number 2 hit single. This is actually a very good album. It's a better album than I expected when I found it. I only paid about £1 for it. Very new wave-ish. I think Mickey doesn't actually represent what the album's about. I would say that in fact it's obviously there because it's the obvious single, and the video with the cheerleaders as well. This is actually a reissue. I think this got reissued. This is on Virgin, reissue on Virgin. I think originally the album was a sort of independent album. It's worth checking out if you get a chance to have a listen to it, because I think it's better than probably what people might think it's going to be. Next album. Now, this was a recommendation from Pete at the shop. This is Robert Calvert's Captain Lockheed and the Starfighters. Now, Robert Calvert, if you was part of Hawkwind. Now, this came out in 1974. This is again a reissue, a US reissue of the album. Now, this is a very English album. Let me get out and tell you who's on it. Lemmy plays bass on here. Who else is on here? You know what? It's on Wikipedia. It's on here, but View Stanshaw's on here. Various other members of Hawkwind appear on this album. Now, this is a very... Let's get this back in. This is a very English album. And it is actually based on true events. It tells the story of how Lockheed sold some jets to the German, to the Luftwaffe, and I can't remember what the name of the jet was, but they had reliability issues. In fact, when they take off, if they weren't maintained right, they took off. They had the habit of crash landing, and they end up having nicknamed the Widowmaker. And so this really tells the story of the deal. So there's music, there's narration, a lot of comedy, German voices in there. This is very, as I said, very English. Pete pointed this album out to me months back. They had a copy in. He played me the first side, and I actually quite enjoyed it. But I passed on it at the time. Then, as it happens, somebody else buys it. So when I saw this, I thought I'm going to have this. And it is very good. It's very good. It's very, as I said, it's very English. It's an outstanding album. The humour's particularly British. But yeah, very well worth checking out. Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison managed to get hold of a copy of this. I will be looking for another copy because the side one's a little bit is not in the greatest of nick, but it's a classic album. If I see some Johnny Cash, I do pick it up. This country music's the one genre that I find struggle with, and I wouldn't mind some recommendations who to see. I don't really like what's the modern stuff that's come out, sort of like the pop country. That's not really my bag. I prefer more like the country, sort of like folk blues type thing, rather. But if they say this is a sort of appeal to you, you sort of steer me in the direction where I should go, country music, and which artists I should check out if any come out. Now, this is how long ago I've listened to these. My birthday was in June, and it just so happens around that time, H&B, the chain, the UK music chain store, has its what's called Vinyl Week, where they discount a lot of albums, sort of the reissues, and you put them in crates, so people are flying through crates. So I treated myself to a few of these albums. So first one is Deep Purple's Come Taste the Band. All these albums only cost me £10, so this is part of the Purple reissue. If I can get this out. All the albums, the Deep Purple albums, came out in Purple reissue, and they came out in Purple vinyl. This is the album after Richie Blackmore left, and they got Toni Basil in, and the band's pretty much imploded not long after that. Bolin had his drug problems. I think there's a well-known story of he played a gig in Japan, and he's so strung, he strung out on heroin. He lay on his arm, and his arm sort of froze, so he could only play bar chords. He couldn't. He literally could only move two fingers down the fretboard. So they got through that concert, and I think when it got to the UK, Lord and Pace had just had enough, and the band sort of broke up on the UK tour. As an album, it's not bad. You Keep On Moving, I think, standout track. There's some really nice song. As an album in itself, own right, it's actually a good album. If you're going to compare it to Mark II, classic Mark II, and even sort of like Burn, no, I would. It's not as good as that. Probably better. It's as good as Stormbringer, in my opinion. But as I think, if you could just sort of treat it as an album in its own right, and not compare it to other Deep Purple albums, you'll find this is actually not a bad album. Let's have a slurp of tea. It's better. Yes, I also found I got for tenor Nick Drake's Brighter Later, his second album. One interesting fact about Nick Drake was that obviously, if you know the story, painfully shy guy, made beautiful records, but couldn't go out on tour. He just couldn't. He just couldn't face being in an audience, and with all his issues, accidentally took his own life. Well, he died from an overdose. I think he's 74. And one of the things that Joe Boyd persuaded Chris Blackwell to do was never to delete his back catalogue. He only made the 3 albums, but his albums have always been available in one shape or another, never were deleted. Second album really is. I just love this. I just like it. The production. Suppose Hazy Jane's probably my favourite track on here. But I certainly would look out for more Nick Drake. I know that Jonathan picked up that box set of the reissues, and I'm such a lucky guy because that would cost a fortune. His original stuff costs absolute fortunes in the UK. But yeah, worth checking out to Nick Drake there. And I got a copy of Human League's debut album, Reproduction. Came out in 1979. Now, this is very much sort of arts, experimental synth album. You know, they were obviously the Kraftwerk influences and the like on there. Best known track here is Empire State Human, which sort of indicates that there were some pop sensibilities because it's quite a poppy, catchy tune. Didn't do anything when it came out. I remember seeing this is 40 years old now, on an art programme, that BBC late night art programme they were on, and the first thing you see is Phil Oakey's hair at the time, where he had that style where he had the short at one side and the long at the other. It was totally something different. As an album, it's very good actually. I enjoyed it. I think he's good. You know, you don't compare it to Dare because Dare's a totally different band. Human League were a totally different band by the time I went to Dare. But this is a good album. I put it up with OMD's debut, that sort of thing. It's worth checking out. John Martin's Grace and Danger came out in 1982. This is very much his divorce album, and I think because of that, he got Phil Collins involved. He appears on the album playing drums. Probably not as good as his 70s stuff, but in a sense, I think it gave him a bit of a commercial. He was always first bit of albums that have some sort of commercial success. He was always an artist that sort of bubbled under. People knew he toured. People going to his gigs, but didn't really buy the records in sufficient numbers to really touch the higher echelons of the album charts. John Martin is an artist that I need to get more of. It's quite clear there's some really good stuff. He's getting hold of it. It's quite, some of the original stuff is quite expensive, but it's worth checking out. Yes, I get the impression as a man he was a bit of a. It could be a bit. He had a nasty streak in him. But when you listen to it listens to the music. It sort of differs from what he sounds like in the music. It sounds all very sensitive, but he liked to drink, and I think he liked to fight as well. So there you go. The final batch, these are all I got in the HMV. They're all $9.99. The final batch, I sort of treated myself. Wolfmother's debut album. Now, I've always liked this, and that's a proper band name, Wolfmother. It's sort of, the name sort of says what it is. It's a rocking record. What you've got on here, it's a double album. So you've got the album on three sides, and then side 4 tends to be bonus B-sides. My favourite track on here, White Unicorn. Woman was the lead single, and I discovered this through MySpace actually. God, and it's sort of age out when this album came out, and I just thought, wow, this is just amazing. So I got the CD at the time. So this is the 10th anniversary edition. Came out a few years ago. Absolute corking album. I do enjoy Wolfmother. I haven't really got much of that other stuff, but I do enjoy listening to it. I wouldn't, when it comes on, I don't say no to listening to it. It's, I think, a really good album. Then to finish off, a couple of sort of like cheap purchases. Nazareth's Greatest Hits. This is an Italian edition on Vertigo. As it says, it's their greatest hits. Razmanaz, Holy Roller, Shanghai in Shanghai, Love Hurts, Turn on Your Receiver, Bad Bad Boy, This Flight Tonight, Broken Down Angel, Hair of the Dog, Sunshine, My White Bicycle, Woke Up This Morning. Nazareth was a band that I was aware of because they always appeared on top of the pops because their singles were, sort of always hit the top 30 or just on the outskirts. So I was aware of them. They're still going. It's a really, really good record. Really good comp, that is. I do need to get some more Nazareth into my life. And then finally, something totally different. And I thought I'd take it because it looked interesting. Missa Lubra. Now, let me remember. These are songs, sort of like Congolese songs, spiritual songs, sung by, and I apologise if I absolutely hashed this name up, Le Troubadour du Roi Baudouin. This came out in 1958. This is when Congo was still ruled by Belgium. Hence, I think the Baudouin was the name of the Belgian king at the time. It really is really good. I played it on a Sunday and it just felt right to listen to it then. It absolutely played wonderfully for a 60-year-old record. It sounded great. It's not sort of thing I would seek out, but it just intrigued me, and I thought I'd give this a go. A bit of world music into my life. And another genre I could do with a little bit of help. Listen to, because some of this is interesting. I know recently we lost Johnny Clegg, the South African singer. That was sad. But now I was really pleased to find this. Sometimes you just go with something, and it cost me £1, and it just works out. So there's a lesson to us all. So those are what I've been recently listening to, VC. I've been having to think about my channel recently, about while I took a break. I'm wondering about changing the name, Steve Whitty. I don't know, maybe change it to someone like Vegan Vinyl Guy or Vegan Vinyl Fan or something like that. Yes, I am vegan, but hey-ho. I don't know. I'm still toying with that idea. I don't know if that's just going to be me just thinking about it, or just whether it's worth carrying that through. So that ends the video. I hope you guys have recently had some good purchases. I'm just going to try and catch up as many videos as I can. Apologies for the gap, but I've been rather busy. It's just been time more than anything. Sometimes you just need to put our feet up now and again. Just listen to the music. So if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, click on the subscribe button, or more the merrier. I'm always grateful for those people that take their time out to subscribe and even watch the videos. And I've had some interaction, people saying how good the videos have come up to me. I'm just thinking, well, that's nice. I think it was on the back of the Living the Dream video about when I first looked after Pete's shop. But it's just grateful. It's just nice that people just take the time off and say nice things. It's sort of appreciated. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Love the interaction. And feel free to leave a comment. I'll always get back to you. So enjoy your Sunday. I've got quite a busy one ahead. I've got to do some shopping, ironing, clean some records, watch a bit of footy. So until the next video, VC, take care of yourselves, keep spinning, and more importantly, keep smiling.